Howdy guys, welcome back. I'm just going to go over the legions on here on the Space Marine 2 and give you a brief understanding and information about every single one of them, so you guys have a grasp of what you play or what you want to play or personify as. The first off, we have Dark Angels. Dark Angels primarch's name is Lionel Johnson. He was found on the planet called the Caliban. Caliban planet was like a nightly planet. He wasn't as advanced as the most Imperial planets, human planets, and he was found on the forest. The forest was filled with monsters and chaos beasts, but he survived that on his own as a child. And when the Lothar, I think his name was, yes, went to a nightly quest to the forest, he found him. Even though he was like an animal, he was like a lion with a golden mane, just killing everything. They found like a noble and honorable soul inside him, and they brought him back. Dark Angels, the gimmick is they're like knights of the round table, and they are like loyal. The Primarch Lionel Johnson was the most loyal one. Like one time, Malcador asked the Emperor, "Do you think Lion betrayed us?" He turned traitor, and Emperor without hesitation said, "No, Lion would never betray me. His loyalty is absolute." And when he was fighting against another Primarch and he said everybody would forget you, he said, "They don't care if I'll be forgotten tomorrow, decade, 100 years. Loyalty is his own reward." And that's how he was. He was loyal, honorable. Well, he is, because he has turned back to the Imperium right now. He's on the setting again. Dark Angels have a very nasty dark secret. There were some of them that turned traitor, and the Dark Angels in secrecy finding them and killing them and making them repent for what they've done if they can capture them. And they kill every single witness that there is to know there was a traitor Dark Angel. So everybody would think they are all of them loyal, but there were some of them that wasn't loyal, and they are killing them off one by one. Now, White Scar. Name of their Primarch, Chagatai Khan. Chagatai Khan, you can say like a Mongolian, like a Khan from the Kublai Khan. He was on this planet, and every single tribe was fighting each other, and he was fostered by a man. He was Khan of his own tribe, and he didn't want war. He wanted everybody to get along. He wanted to unite them. But even though he was honorable man, he was murdered by a rivaling tribe. And when that happened, Chagatai took over. He took the soldiers, he went over, he killed every single man, woman, and children of that tribe. Then he went to the war against all other tribes and ended the war. He unified them. The thing about Chagatai Khan, he never let his guards down. He always let everyone underestimate him. He never truly showed his true power. And the most notable thing, he done what his legion, he ordered them to have a hobby. Because all they did was they go scout, they do their job, they come back, they upkeep their armor, they upkeep their machinery, and they go back. He said, no, have some hobby so you know what it's like to be a human, so you know what you're fighting for. They're the ultimate fast boy. Yeah, fastest fast boy. And other thing about their Primarch, there was one instant he let his guard down and showed just a fraction of his power. He destroyed the entire Orc fortress under 35 minutes. Actually 34 minutes to be exact. He killed everything in that fortress. The White Scar is just shining off his blade because you can't see his fucking body because he's moving too fast. He's the Kublai Khan with the power of flash. They built a war for that guy. It's not gonna work for this one. Currently he's lost in Web Bay because he to carry to the Web Bay and he's lost there. He's just fighting everything. He's a badass. Now, Raven Guard. What you need to know about Raven Guard. Corvus, the name of their primarch. First act he did was actually a heroism act. A guard was beating a little girl to death. He stopped him. After that, slaves took him and adopted him. He stick to the shadow, stay away from the guards, stay away from the prying eyes of the powerful, and he realized to get a little bit older he can turn invisible completely, and he used that. He broke out the jail, he broke out everyone out of the jail, to all of those slaves, and when he became a primarch of his legion was like night lords in a sense. They were like a terror unit, but he turned that around. He said, we don't need to be a terrorist, we need to be a surgical assassination, saboteur, and espionage unit. First, they go against him. He has to punish and let go of his commanding officers, but in the end, they were better off. And even though the White Scar have their bikes, Raven Guards have their own bikes too, they're better at it. And if you ever wanted to make a White Scar mad, just say Raven Guards ride better than you. They usually get mad. And they actually like ravens, they pick relics from the other chapters. Like the Ultramarine comes around, see this ancient relic of the Ultramarines, and says, where did you find this? I just found it. Can I have it back? No, we're using it for the Imperium. You cannot have it back. Salamanders, name of their primarch is Vulcan. They are the ultimate heroic human space marines. Vulcan was on a planet, I forget his name, planet, it doesn't matter. Vulcan was adopted by a commoner, blacksmith. He learned blacksmith, he excelled at it, he learned new technique, he made new technique. He was really good at blacksmithing and making weapons and everything. So when the village was attacked by Drukhari, he picked up arms against them and encouraged all of the people that were living in that village to fight against this invasion. So he became a hero. Like in the Persian myth, we have a character called Kaveh the blacksmith. He was like that. Exactly, the story was like that. And notable thing about their primarch is practically immortal. He cannot die, but he is actually immortal. So right now he's missing, and the salamanders believe if they found all the artifacts of the Vulcan, he would return, but currently he's missing. Salamanders are a type of space marines that would die to let a group of people flee. Normal people, regular people, they fight and die for them. That's why they usually have high casualty. With the Rubicon added to the mix, they might have a better chance of surviving, but they usually take heavy casualty because they put themselves between the fire and the normal people. And don't get me wrong, they're not all nice, as long as you're human, they're nice. I mean, they save you and they just walk up to a Xenos nursery with a flamethrower and just kill everything. Pyromaniacs. The notable thing about them is their skin is charcoal black, because the planet they usually go into for their recruiting, it actually causes a defect in their DNA, and they have charcoal black skin and red beating eyes. So they look terrifying. Yeah, don't get fucked up with these guys. They fuck you up. The Space Wolves. Leman Russ is the name of their primarch. Leman Russ was raised by wolves. Yeah, actual wolves, giant wolves in Planet Furnace. In Fenris, wolves kind of huge, kind of big. You can ride them if you're a regular human. He and his wolf pack family usually attacked human villages. Yeah, he was full-on fairy mode, werewolf style. So they killed their mother, leader of their pack. He and two of his wolf brothers survived. And when the king saw him, they see ability in him a lot, like when the Lothar found Lion. He learned everything about being human later on in his life. He learned first to be a wolf. So when he became human, he helped to unify the entire planet. I'm not gonna say conquering because space wolves are fun to be around, but they usually mean they are space Vikings. The Legion, at first, every single other Legion hate the Legion because it was created as execution for the rest of Astartes. Out of their line, and Emperor wanted to kill them, they just send in the space wolves. The space wolves were the executioner of the other Astartes. Till, you know, Horus happens and heresy happens, and they say, oh, okay, it's good that we have space marine killers because they can help us kill the traitors. Two notable things that happens with their primarch. Number one, he broke the back of the freaking Magnus the Red primarch of the Thousand Sun. Yes, I think it was him. I don't remember very well, but I think it was him. He broke his back. Number two, one time the Space Wolves and the Dark Angel get into the little bit of rough housing. Lion wanted to, you know, beat them up, kill them. Everything needs to be done to protect their sons. And Lehman Russ came around and bowed to him, says, I'm sorry, you get out of hand. And when everything was de-escalated, he walked up to the lion and said, next time you raise your sword to my sons, I'm going to rip your throat out with my teeth. This is the type of primarch we're talking about. And currently he's missing. He's not dead. Iron Hands. Varys. Luck. Let's say Vulcan was a blacksmith, right? This guy was a blacksmith with a little bit of twist. Nobody taught him blacksmithing. He learned it on his own. He isolated himself because when he crash landed on the planet, he waked the freaking ancient mechanical being, a monstrosity. I would go out a limb here and say it was a Necron. You know, he'd wake up a Necron and it was just rampaging around and killing everything. So he isolated himself till he can kill that thing. And he was building and building and building, trying to find a way to kill it. And eventually he did. His was affected. His hands had living metal on them. Was made out of it, actually a living metal, after killing the beast. That's why the name of their legion is Iron Hands, because their primarch has iron hands. He had it. He's dead. Now, notable thing about their freaking legion, they're opposite of the salamanders. They don't exactly like humans. They like efficiency, they like augmentation, they're best friends with the tech priest. They just put only efficiency first. They get in, they get the job done, get out, and they're the ultimate, like the unit for sieging for the Imperium at the time. Or warmongers with augmentations and very little regards for human life. That's what Iron Hands are. You look at them and say, hey, why they're not Chaos Marines? Well, they are loyal. They're loyal. Yeah, you know, let's not get into it. Imperial Fist. Oh, let's get into this one. Name of their primarch, Roland Dorn. Roland Dorn. Dorn of the Dorn house. One of the noble houses of the planet he crash landed on. He was raised as a noble. He learned about the strategy, he learns about swordsmanship, he learns about everything, engineering, everything. He was good at everything, he learned about everything. He would go out on the icy surface and just kill monsters, but he go out and do that for the sports, not for surviving like Lion did. He had the second best upbringing in between all the primarchs. Okay? Second best upbringing. The religion is all about fortress and all about, keeping everything safe. If there is a wall and there's an imperial fist on it, you're probably not going to get that wall. You're probably not going to get through that wall, and you don't want to get through that wall. Like, you can get through the wall, but when you get through the wall, there's an imperial fist waiting for you. They're good at shooting. They're one of the best swordsmen the imperial has to offer. Even if you get through, you're dead. Their primarch is known to be autistic. Yeah, let's call him autistic. He had a very good upbringing. The sons of Rogan Dorp was Sigismund. There is a line during the heresy that Dorn says to the Sigismund. He says, "The leash is off. Do what you made to do. Make them hurt." And he did that. Do you know why? Because Sigismund later on, when the Dorn says, "I don't like the in the codex of Astarte and index and everything that Gilliman put together," you know what Sigismund done? Sigismund created the Black Templar. They're only legion remaining. They're a legion. They're not chapter. They have thousands of people on their side because they're not stop fighting. They were making them hurt for 10,000 years now. Over 10,000 years. And Sigismund actually came close to kill Abaddon the Despoiler, but he was too old. If he was a little bit younger, he would have killed him. He was the better swordsman, if you ask me. Black Templars. It's weird to call them good. They're like zealous. They answer every single challenge. They don't suffer the mutant, the witch, the unclean, the heretic. They kill everything. They're best friends with the Battle Sisters, and that says a lot. They're best friends with the Inquisition, and that says a lot, They're zealot, they're fanatic, they're good swordsmen, they fight. Before, they had the oldest Space Marine as well, 2,000 years old, and he was in constant war for 2,000 years. There are some chapters that are loyalists that are not here, like Grey Knight, so I'm not gonna get into that. Now, my favorite chapter in the 40k universe, Blood Angels. Name of their primarch, Sanguinius, the Great Angel. Why they call him the Great Angel? He had 2 freaking wings, massive wings, and when he get angry, the halo of light appears around his head. He usually didn't get angry unless it was something to do with his sons. Sanguinius landed on the Rat Desert, so radiated desert of Baal, and he killed a fire scorpion, a massive giant scorpion. He killed a fire scorpion. He was taken by the humans that were always on the run from the mutants of that planet, cannibals, people that were constantly trying to kill them and eat them. He sided with the humans. He was raised by the humans. He fought and fought against the mutants, and he fought back, and he survived. Only reason the humans survived on that planet against the onslaught of the mutants were the primarch Sanguinius. When the emperor came to Baal to pick up Sanguinius, right? He was one of the few primarchs that immediately realized who he was, because he could see through the future. He exactly knew who he was. He kneeled immediately, pledged loyalty immediately, and he only asked for one thing: to let the people of Baal have their own faith. And the emperor granted that wish. Now, something notable about the chapter. They have 2 flaws. Number 1, red thirst. What's that mean? It means they have to drink blood. If they don't, they just bitter, they wither, they turn mutant looking things, and it's a flaw, and they have to do it. And I think Emperor put it there to keep them in fighting, keep them in war. He put it in there. When the Sanguinius met their legion, unlike any other primarch, he vowed to the legion to be with them. So the second flood is the Black Rage. Some say it's the Commander's curse. The others say the death of Sanguinius causes the Black Rage. It caused the Black Rage throughout his entirety of the legion. It was his death that causes the Black Rage. So in the heat of battle, when the Blood Angel is fighting, sometimes they lose grasp of reality. They think they are the Sanguinius and they're fighting Horus. And everybody in their eyes is Horus. I'm talking about everybody. Friends, foes, everyone is Horus in their eyes. Therefore, they call Black Rage because they're blacking out on reality. The unit that usually utilize the Black Rage called Death Company. They are like Red Butchers, but you guys don't know what Red Butcher is if you're watching this video. They are blind and they were dropped in like a bomb in the center of the enemy with no regards of their lives, and they just kill everything. And if they lose an arm, they just keep killing. If they lose a leg, they just keep killing. They crawl and kill. They don't care. A person that is in charge of this company called Lamanti. They're like chaplain. It's like a chaplain thingy, and they just poke at the bear till they're angry enough to drop him down. Notable character of the Blood Angels. Number 1 is Dante, the oldest living space marine in the Imperium. Even though some of the Chaos Marine are there since the Great Crusade, time in the warp doesn't move like real life, like reality, like material. So they're not as old. So, oldest space marine, Dante. Greatest psyker of Imperium, I would say one of the greatest psychers is Mephiston, which is a Blood Angel librarian. And one of the notable characters that you can see and people really love is Gabriel Seth, leader of the chapter of Flesh Terrors. Another chapter is notable and people know about them and they're really sad about them is the Lamenter. Lamenters didn't do anything wrong, but they were accused and they are dying out. They were type of the chapter that used augmentation for countering the Red Thirst. So they a little bit try to be like Iron Hand. They were yellow, they have a circle of white in their decal, but it's a heart and a drop of blood. Now, Guilliman is the name of the Primarch of the Ultramarines. He's currently leading the Imperium. What can I say about Guilliman? Guilliman was raised by a foster father. He was raised to inherit the empire. He was raised to inherit the empire. And he did inherit the empire. He fought against the rebels and resistance and all these traitors that was fighting to take over, and he beat them. He take over the planet. He expanded that freaking empire and became the Ultramar. And Ultramar is massive. It has many planets in it and billions upon billions of humans living in it, and it's a very good place to live in 40k actually. They're really bound to the Codex of Astartes, and Codex of Astartes is written down by Guilliman. Ultramarines are they're really by the book kind of space marines, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but it mostly works out for them because they have very little casualties. They have a lot of soldiers, and have a lot of recruits. They have the most successor chapters because they had so many Space Marines to go around, and they just built a lot of chapters out of them. And they usually don't take too many risks, too much risks, unless sometimes one of the captains go crazy and they just ram their battle barge against the ward engine and go in with the 700 Space Marine and realize there's planet population of Necron inside and they all die. Other than that, you know, they're usually very reasonable and level-headed, and it works out for them.